At 0450 a.m., reconnaissance drones detect movement. 300 tanks advancing in formation. Front width, 8 miles. Speed, 35 miles per hour across open terrain. Distance to defensive line, 22 miles. Time to contact, 38 minutes. The defenders watch the screens. They count the vehicles. They calculate trajectories. They know what is coming. Combat power analyzes the 38 minutes between detection and collision, when mathematics says defense should win, but experience warns against certainty. The defensive position holds 60 anti-tank missile systems. Each system has a crew of 3. Each crew trained for 18 months. The missiles cost $180,000 each. Range, 2.5 miles. Flight time, 14 seconds. Reload time, 30 seconds. Each launcher carries 8 missiles. Total ammunition, 480 rounds. Rate of fire, 2 missiles per minute per system. Maximum engagement time at 2.5 miles, approximately 4 minutes before tanks close within minimum range. Basic calculation suggests 480 shots. Historical effectiveness rate, 85%. Expected kills, 408 tanks. The attacking force numbers 300. The defenders should win. The company commander knows these numbers. He also knows the enemy knows these numbers. If the math favored defense, the enemy would not attack. Therefore, something is wrong with the assumptions. He studies the drone footage more carefully. The tanks advance in a column formation, not spread out, concentrated. This makes them easier targets. But it also suggests they expect losses. They are absorbing the cost. Which force breaks first? A. Anti-tank defenses. B. Tank column. C. Defensive morale. At 0453 a.m., the commander identifies the problem. The leading 80 tanks are different, older models, T-72 variants from the 1980s. Behind them, newer T-90 models. The column is segregated by type. This is deliberate. The old tanks are decoys, expendable units sent to burn through defensive ammunition. The real assault follows behind. Combat power examines tactics where sacrificing forces becomes the strategy. The commander recalculates. If he engages the decoys, he expends 80 missiles minimum, probably more to ensure kills. That leaves 400 rounds for 220 newer tanks. Still favorable, still winnable. But the margin narrows. And if the enemy has additional layers, if the 220 tanks include more decoys, the math becomes uncertain. He needs more information. He requests air reconnaissance. The request is denied. All aircraft committed to other sectors. He requests artillery support, also denied. Guns are suppressing enemy positions elsewhere. The anti-tank company fights alone. No support, no enforcement. Just 60 crews and 480 missiles against 300 tanks. At 0457 a.m., the tanks reach the 18-mile mark. Speed increases to 40 miles per hour. They are accelerating. Time to contact revised, 27 minutes. The commander must decide. Engage at maximum range or wait for certainty. Engaging early maximizes shots. Each system fires 8 missiles before tanks close. But early engagement means shooting at decoys. Waiting allows identification, but reduces ammunition expenditure. Fewer shots per system. Maybe only 4 missiles, maybe 6. Combat power reveals that tactical decisions are gambling with lives and limited resources against an enemy who planned for your response. The commander chooses a middle approach. He divides his forces. 30 systems engage at maximum range. 30 systems hold fire. The forward group targets decoys. The reserve group waits for main force. This splits his firepower, but it preserves options. At 0502 a.m., the lead tanks enter the 10-mile mark. The commander orders forward systems to prepare. Crews check missiles, test electronics, verify targeting systems. Everything functions. At 0508 a.m., range closes to 2.5 miles. Forward systems engage. 60 missiles launch in the first 30 seconds. Smoke trails arc across the dawn sky. Flight time, 14 seconds. Impacts occur simultaneously. Explosions ripple through the lead formation. 53 tanks destroyed. 7 missiles missed. Effectiveness, 88%. Better than expected. Crews reload. 30 seconds. Second volley launches. 60 more missiles. 55 tanks destroyed. 5 misses. Effectiveness, 92%. The crews are performing excellently. The lead formation disintegrates. Burning hulks litter the approach. But the column continues. The destroyed tanks are pushed aside. The advance does not stop. What happens next changes everything. At 05:09 a.m., the tank column deploys smoke. Thermal grenades create screening clouds. Visibility drops to 50 feet. Infrared targeting degrades. Missile guidance systems struggle. The third volley launches into smoke. 60 missiles, 38 hits, 22 misses. Effectiveness, 63%. The smoke is working. The fourth volley performs worse. 60 missiles, 31 hits. Effectiveness, 52%. Forward systems have fired 240 missiles. They achieved 177 kills, more than expected. But they are Winchester, empty. The crews evacuate their positions. Doctrine requires withdrawal after ammunition expenditure. They leave behind empty launchers. The commander watches them go. 30 systems out of action. 30 remain. The tank count updates. Original number 300. Destroyed 177. Remaining 123. All decoys eliminated. The remaining tanks are the primary assault force, modern armor, active protection systems, better crews. Combat power documents that surviving the approach means facing the real threat. The reserve systems prepare to engage, but the enemy adapts. The tanks disperse. They spread across the full 8-mile front. This forces defenders to split fire. No concentrated volleys. Each system selects individual targets. Rate of fire decreases. At 05:11 a.m., reserve systems engage. 30 missiles launch. The tanks activate countermeasures. Explosive reactive armor. Active protection systems. Laser dazzlers. 15 missiles are defeated. 15 hit. Kill rate, 50%. Much lower than the forward systems achieved. The newer tanks are harder to kill. Some require multiple hits. The commander recalculates. 30 systems, 8 missiles each, 240 rounds total. Remaining tanks, 108. If kill rate holds at 50%, he destroys 120 tanks. Enough to stop the assault. Barely. But kill rate may decrease further. The tanks are closing. Range drops below 2 miles, below 1 mile. Minimum engagement range, 400 yards. The window is narrowing. Second volley, 30 missiles, 12 kills. Kill rate, 40%. The active protection systems are learning. They track incoming missiles, intercept with projectiles. The technology is effective. Third volley, 30 missiles, 10 kills. Kill rate, 33%. Remaining tanks, 86. Remaining ammunition per system, 5 missiles. Total, 150 rounds. At current effectiveness, that equals 50 kills. Not enough. The math no longer favors defense. Combat power analyzes the moment when calculated advantage evaporates under adaptive enemy tactics. At 05:13 a.m., tanks reach the 800-yard line. They begin firing. 120 main guns, high explosive rounds. Anti-tank positions take hits. 1 launcher destroyed. Crew killed. 2 launchers damaged. Crews wounded. 27 systems operational. Remaining ammunition, 135 missiles. Remaining tanks, 86. The defenders continue firing. Fourth volley, 27 missiles, 9 kills. Effectiveness, 33%. Tanks at 600 yards. Fifth volley, 27 missiles, 8 kills. Effectiveness, 30%. The protective systems are overwhelming the offense. Each tank can defeat 2 or 3 incoming missiles before being saturated. Firing individually, the defenders cannot saturate. Remaining tanks, 69. Remaining ammunition per system, 2 missiles. The commander makes a final decision. Simultaneous launch. All remaining missiles. 54 missiles at 69 targets. He orders fire at 05:14 a.m. Every system launches together. 54 smoke trails. The missiles converge on the tank formation. The active protection systems engage. They prioritize threats. They fire countermeasures. But they are overwhelmed. Too many incoming. Not enough time. 32 tanks destroyed. 22 missiles defeated. Kill rate, 59%. Remaining tanks, 37. Remaining missiles, 0. The anti-tank defense is Winchester. Crews evacuate. They withdraw to secondary positions. Behind them, 37 tanks advance unopposed. Necessary defense or tactical failure. Combat power examines outcomes where doing everything right still results in penetration. The tanks reach the defensive line at 05:17 a.m. They break through. Infantry positions are overrun. Support units retreat. The line collapses. The 37 tanks represent only 12% of the original force, but 12% is enough. They have mobility, firepower, protection. They exploit the gap. Reserves attempt to plug the breach. Anti-tank teams with shoulder-fired missiles move forward. These weapons have range of 800 feet, much shorter than the main systems. Effectiveness against modern armor, questionable. The first team engages. 2 missiles, 1 hit. The tank's armor absorbs it. Tank is damaged but mobile. It returns fire. The team is eliminated. Second team engages. 3 missiles, 2 hits. The tank is destroyed. One team kills 1 tank at the cost of 3 lives. Remaining tanks, 36. Available teams, 20. The math is brutal. Even if every team succeeds, half the tanks survive. The breakthrough cannot be contained. Combat power tracks how penetration creates cascading advantages for the attacker. How many interceptors can one destroyer launch simultaneously? A. 24. B. 96. C. Over 200. The question is irrelevant to ground warfare. Tanks are not missiles. Terrain is not ocean. The principles differ. But the concept of saturation applies. Overwhelming defenses through volume and adaptation. The defender had enough ammunition theoretically. In practice, enemy tactics negated the advantage. The battle continues for 2 hours. The 36 tanks push 15 miles past the defensive line. They attack supply depots, communication centers, artillery positions, command posts. They create chaos. The front line becomes irrelevant when the enemy is behind you. Eventually, reinforcements arrive. Helicopter gunships, main battle tanks from reserve units, air support. The 36 tanks are hunted down. Destroyed individually. By 07:30 a.m., the breakthrough is eliminated, but the damage is done. The defensive line is breached. Positions are abandoned. Equipment is lost. Casualties are severe. The enemy achieved their objective. If combat power decides wars, type combat power. The after-action analysis is harsh. The defenders did everything correctly. They engaged at maximum range. They prioritized targets. They adapted to smoke. They achieved high kill rates. None of it mattered. The enemy strategy was sound. Sacrifice decoys to burn ammunition. Deploy countermeasures to reduce effectiveness. Accept losses to achieve breakthrough. 12% survival rate was sufficient. Combat power documents that sometimes perfect execution is insufficient against superior planning. Lessons are extracted. First, anti-tank defenses need deeper magazines. 8 missiles per system is inadequate against modern assaults. Second, countermeasures to enemy countermeasures. Ways to defeat active protection systems. Third, integrated defense. Anti-tank systems cannot fight alone. They need artillery, air support, reserves. Fourth, deception recognition. Identifying decoys earlier changes ammunition allocation. These lessons cost lives to learn. What would you order next? Defensive planners face difficult choices. increase ammunition stockpiles and accept budget constraints, develop new weapons and accept delayed deployment, integrate systems better and accept complexity. Or redesign defensive doctrine entirely and accept operational risk. Each option has costs. None guarantee success. The tank breakthrough scenario demonstrates that even favorable mathematics can be overcome. The defenders had more firepower than needed, theoretically. The enemy negated it through tactics, decoys, smoke, countermeasures, dispersion, adaptation. These tactics are not secret. They are known. They are studied. They will be used again. This scenario is based on realistic capabilities. Modern tanks have active protection systems. Modern militias use decoy tactics. Modern warfare includes electronic countermeasures. The technologies exist. The techniques are proven. Only the scale and timing vary. Quiz answer. The destroyer question about naval warfare. This scenario was ground combat. Different domain. Different weapons. But the principle of saturation applies universally. Overwhelm defenses through volume and adaptation. 12% survived. 12% was enough. Consider these questions. Can static defense stop mobile armor? Should defenders prioritize kill rates or ammunition conservation? What happens when every tactical decision is correct, but the strategy fails? How do you defend when the enemy accepts catastrophic losses? These questions lack simple answers. Combat power provides analysis, not solutions, not doctrine. Only examination of what happens when force meets force. The tank breakthrough will occur again. Different location. Different units, same principles. Attackers will sacrifice forces to achieve objectives. Defenders will fight with limited resources. The side that adapts faster wins. Subscribe to Combat Power, where raw force decides survival. No mercy, no pause. Only the brutal calculus that 480 missiles destroyed 263 tanks, but 37 broke through, and 37 was enough to collapse the line, because modern warfare is not about destroying everything, but about destroying enough to achieve the objective. And sometimes 12% survival rate represents complete tactical success when those 12% are exactly where they need to be, doing exactly what they came to do.